the last episode, we covered how to shoot portraits with an ND filter at the beach. Today, we're going to cover how to shoot with an ND filter when you don't have a model. Let's talk about this ND64 filter from Gobe. It's a 6-stop ND filter. It's basically sunglasses for your lens. But why does your lens need sunglasses? We use these filters to bring down the exposure, allowing us to reduce the depth of field in bright sunlight. So we can have that fancy blurry background if we wanted to. Without it, the camera produces an overexposed image when the aperture is wide open, or when the shutter speed is too long. Shooting at 1.4 allows us to really blur out the background for video like these kind of shots. But also, the benefit of making it a lot darker is we could shoot really long shutter speeds and delve into long exposure photography, which is how we can make this sort of background, with the addition of the ND filter, look more something like this. I'm at shutter speed 1/50, aperture 1.4, and ISO 1000. Let's see what happens when I take it off. Boom, way too overexposed. Obviously, you'd never use settings like this on a bright day, but sometimes you want to use f1.4 and you can't during the day. Let's demonstrate. If I bring the ISO down, all the way down to ISO 100, I still can't use f1.4. The sky is still a little bit overexposed, so you need the filter in order to see the colors of the clouds, even at ISO 100. So we need to move the aperture all the way down to f5 in order to get a similar exposure to where we started with the ND filter. So let's see. This is with the ND filter on, and this is what it's like without it with the completely different settings. There's a slight color shift, but the exposure is pretty similar. We can also shoot at night to make a scene like this look more like something like this. But for this one, we don't even need an ND filter because the ambient light is so low. That's why you tend to see a lot more long exposure photography done at nighttime. Because the ambient light is so low, you can set your camera to 30 seconds and not be overexposed. The streaking lights in this picture was actually a boat that was going by. I was trying to estimate how long that boat would take to reach that dome, and I guessed about 15 seconds. And I was pretty close. It almost reached it. I think it turned out pretty well. What do you think? Using 15 seconds shutter speed in daytime is almost impossible without an ND filter, unless it's sunset. Alright, welcome to the quickest tutorial on how to do them water shots. If we shoot at a faster shutter speed, we're able to stop the waves in motion and show off the details in the water. But at longer shutter speeds, we're able to smooth out that water to a glass-like surface. Here's an example of what kind of photos you could get with an ND filter and without an ND filter. Pay attention to how the waves in the water look. Let's see if you could spot when the ND filter was used and when it was not used. Alright, so I'm here with Mia. Mia is in a video and she doesn't know about it.
Hi.
She's showing me around Vancouver.
All of the places.
She's looking for a man.
I am looking for a real relationship. 100% ready. I don't like yoga.
She's not a fan of yoga. And we're on First Ave.
First Ave.
I don't know what that means.
Best Ave.
It's the best Ave.
The first one. I don't know.
It's the first one.
This is a fucked up video.
Make sure to subscribe to see more of Mia.
Oh no! I wouldn't subscribe that.